Hey everyone, I'm Raymond Ross. Hey, it's good to be with you again today for another Facebook Live. Just wanted to take some time and spend with you. You know, last week I was talking about several things, and I did a Facebook Live. I think it was on Tuesday. And we had a really long day, and it was, we've also been working on some new material and really helping some contractors to solve some really big problems. And I started to talk to some new contractors actually towards the end of last week, and same thing, they were asking, you know, I get going really well and I get distracted. I get off task here and I really want to get the result. And so I basically just brought it down to the same, you know, similar, not always the same, but similar three things that it takes to really stay on task. And I thought I would share that with you guys today and just keep it short and simple. But what I really want to say is you're bigger than the challenges that you're facing. And I truly believe that. I believe your purpose, you know, why you're doing this and really what you're after is so much bigger than any of the problems that will come up. And I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail here in just a few minutes. But, you know, I just want you to know that, you know, every day as business owners, you face one challenge after another. And the truth is, you know, you have already faced some of the biggest challenges of your life, and they have come from your business. So, you know, how you handle them, whether you believe you failed or succeeded, really builds your muscle to tackle the ones that are yet to come. And I want you to just think about that for a minute. You know, everything that you've gone through really is just building a muscle. It's preparing you for greater challenges. And my goodness, if we didn't have challenges, then we wouldn't be able to succeed. We wouldn't be able to get the results that we're looking for. So encourage those challenges, encourage them. And what I mean by that is really look at them as a positive. Look at them as an opportunity. There's something in your business. There's something going on that you need to be able to change, that you need to alter or tweak. We here at the Contractor CEO, we talk about the 2 millimeter shift. Every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, you want to make 2 millimeter shifts. We're not looking for, you know, massive 14 millimeter shifts, just small 2 millimeter shifts at a time. And that's, you know, if you think about it, think of it like a compass. If you make a 1, 2, or 3 degree change, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't feel that difficult to do. But you go out 3, 4, 6, 10 months down the road, and you're in a completely different direction than where you were going before. So really want you to wrap your head around that a little bit. You know, whatever is confronting you today, the answers are already there for you. You know, someone somewhere has solved this problem and knows how to fix it. So, you know, many times we label how big a problem is before it even becomes a problem. You know, in other words, we imagine the issue to be bigger than sometimes it will ever be. You know, we blow things up. And I want to encourage you, really challenge you not to do that. I mean, trust me, the ones that are not blown up can always be solved, usually much faster. So, and we'll get into that in just a little bit, but excuse me. But be careful about creating a challenge or taking a problem to a level that's much larger. Excuse me. Sorry, man. So don't blow up a situation. Don't blow up a problem. Don't make it worse than what it really is. So the truth is, you know, there are several things that are happening. You know, several problems that you can be having, and here's just a list of a couple of them. You know, your employees are making costly mistakes. And sometimes, they go for long periods of time where you don't have any issues. But then there's times when you really look at it, there's some big costly mistakes happening. On the job, clients and material are delaying jobs. Clients, sometimes will get in the way of their own project. And that, whether it's a big commercial TI that you're trying to get a restaurant prepared and ready to go at a certain deadline, and they keep coming in and making changes and really conflicting with your schedule. I mean, there's these things happen all the time, or there's not enough cash at the end of the month. Oh my gosh, right? that seems to happen sometimes. Every time you look up, you're running out of cash at times. We can solve those issues too. All these things can be addressed. But for us here at the Contractor CEO, our approach is a little different than maybe you've heard before. Our philosophy is to throw out your business plan and use what we call a MAP. A results-driven, massive action plan is the only thing we teach because it's the only thing that works. Now, most contractors, maybe even 90%, 95% of all contractors don't have a written plan. And that's understandable, but it's still up here. There's still something, and maybe there's a portion of it that's written down. But the direction that you want to go. You know what you're doing. There is a plan that you want to achieve. There's results that you're looking for. There's an outcome. But what we do specifically is we put together what we call a map. It's a results driven. It's specifically looking at the outcome. We want to know. We build that based on a massive action plan. So we're only looking at the actual result that you're looking for. And when you do that, it really helps to eliminate and push aside all those things that really derail you, kind of get in the way and really gives you a hard time of achieving the result that you're looking for. We really talk a lot here about collaboration and focus only on the result that you want. And it really should be the only activity until you reach the goal. So, when contractors go through our program, that's hard because so often when you're out in the field or you're at the office, you're working in the business. When you come into our program, we really teach you the skill set of how to work on your business. And that's where the collaboration and the focus really come into play. And it's that's a skill, that's a muscle that sometimes that muscle is weak and that just needs to be worked, needs to be built. And you do it day in and day out. And that's one of the top things that we really focus on here is doing that. And when you do focus, all other roads, as I mentioned before, that don't lead to your result kind of no longer exist. I mean, they really start to fade away. And here's the thing. If they do come back, and sometimes they do, then it's so much easier to get back on track and really push them aside when you have a results-driven map. Sometimes this sounds too good to be true. So how do you set yourself up to follow through and win? And that was really some of the conversations that we were having with two contractors late last week after we've been kind of working on some new material and just really driving deep to get the results that we're looking for our partners. And they really wanted to know, how do I set myself up to win? How do I prepare my week and prepare my day? I'm going to give you two more areas that truly will if you master these and hone in on them, you will completely master your ability to get the results that you're looking for. Number two, the next one, the first one was the map, was the massive action plan. Number two is your triad. Check your triad. Now, last week, if you saw the Facebook Live, you saw that I talked about this, and I want to mention it again here. Your triad is something that every moment that you're awake, that you're conscious throughout the day, you're in a triad. Your triad, kind of think of it as a triangle. So one side of the triangle is your physiology. How are you using your body? Are you up and moving, running around to jobs, or are you driving? Are you sitting in an office? Are you standing and talking to someone? Are you exercising? Are you doing something to elevate your heart rate? The second side of the triad is what you focus on. Are you focusing on the tasks? Are you focusing on the outcome? And that makes a huge difference. So often we think that we're achieving our goal, but what we're truly doing is that we're focusing on the results that we're getting on the way to the goal. So, if the goal is to have a satisfied customer and to get referrals and to get paid on time, that's the end result of the actual job. Along the way, what you're trying to do, you're going to have results, you're going to have different things. You're trying to make sure there's good communication on the job, make sure that the material's showing up and the proper labor is there, and things are actually getting done the way that you bid it. Those are results along the way to the actual goal. So your focus needs to be specific and on point to the actual outcome that you're actually looking for. The third side of the triad are the words that you use, and those I talk about words all the time. Matter of fact, I have lists of words. Let me back up for a second. Words have two directions, two meanings. Either they're empowering words, moving you towards something, or they're disempowering words that pull you away from something. And I have a list of words that are empowering. It's my language is important to me, and it's important to be able to choose the words wisely, because if words help me create the focus and I can use my body to reinforce that, that's my triad. So every moment of every second of the day, I'm really looking to identify where's my triad, how can I improve it. I've said this before in some of the other Facebook Lives that hey, before I get on this time with you guys, there's things I'll jump on my rebounder, or I'll go for a run or a walk, or do something to get my heart rate up so I'm alert and I can think, I'm positive. So your triad is massive. It's if you're getting ready to go into a negotiation or a meeting, check your triad. Where's your physiology? What can you do to upgrade that? What are you focusing on? Make sure you focus on the outcome, not results on the way to the outcome. And if you need to change some of your words, if you're feeling negative, you're feeling down, then replace some of those words with something that's positive, something that brings you back up. So the triad is massive. Number 3. So we had number 1 was our map, our massive action plan. Number 2 is check your triad and upgrade that. If whichever, can you upgrade all 3 sides of it, or you just need to upgrade one to really make sure you're in the best state to move forward. Number 3 is your why, and why is massive. And I've talked about this, and I'll continue to talk about this. You are so much more than your challenges. And what I mean by that is that your why has to be bigger than what your challenge is. So I have an analogy that I absolutely love. Maybe you've heard this before. Maybe you've heard me actually say it. But let's pretend, I'm just going to assume that you have kids. And if you don't have kids, then you know someone who does have kids. And if your kids, say you have 3 of them, and you found them to be on the other side of a locked 12-foot steel gate and fence, and they were in a pool area, and they had fallen into the pool, and they don't know how to swim, and you didn't have the key to get through that gate to go and save them, what would you do? How would you do it? At this point, I don't know. You'd figure out a way to get through that gate, to get over it or around it. Somehow, some way you would actually do it. And that's because your why is much larger than the challenge. And I use that analogy a lot because it's really reflective, and it shows, so often we run into issues with your best employee or employees quit, or they leave, or there's some big challenges. Your estimator really underestimated about $162,000 on your $500,000 job. I mean, that's massive. Those are some really, really big challenges. But, is it possible to overcome those? And the answer is yes. There's always a way. Now, maybe it's not the way that you expect or that you really want to, but there are ways to be able to overcome that. And it really takes you to have a really big why, to be able to lock in your triad and really identify, okay, what am I feeling right now? What are the triggers that's if it's really pissing me off, or am I really angry, or what choices do I have in how I can address this situation? And it's huge. So getting back to your why, if you know why you want something and you stack underneath it, I challenge you to take a really big goal that you're looking to achieve. And maybe you're already on your way to that goal, and you've run into some roadblocks. I challenge you to take that why, write it down, and identify 10 to 20 to 30 different legs underneath it. If you have a why, and let's pretend it's the top of a stool, and you put 3 legs underneath it, it's going to stand up just fine. But if you take that stool and you put 12 legs underneath it that are rock solid, and 1 or 2 of them get knocked out, no problem. That why is still going to stand. You're still going to have momentum and drive towards that. So I really challenge you to kind of think of that, and maybe some different areas, maybe some personal areas of your life, and some areas that you've really been running up against. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's a relationship with your kids or your spouse. Whatever it may be, I really challenge you to take whatever that goal that you want, put some big legs underneath it by really identifying, why is this so important? What is it that you want? And why is it a big deal? And really identify, go deep, a deep dive into those areas. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you guys for this week. Trying to keep these the Facebook Lives a little short, but this one's really important. Your map, your massive action plan, your triad, and why do you want it? Those 3, you keep those 3 honed in, and come back to them every single week and work through them. And maybe you need to upgrade some of the points on there. If you're interested in a sample of the map, the results-driven map, the massive action plan, feel free to email us. You can email me at ray@thecontractorceo.com, our regular or other emails, help@thecontractorceo.com. But feel free to email me and just say, hey, I'm interested in this. Send me the template. And it's a really cool template that was made, and it works really well. And I'd be happy to kind of go through that and explain that a little bit more. But it's really helpful. So anyhow, alrighty, guys, take it easy. It's really good to be with you guys today. Again, I'm Raymond Ross from The Contractor CO, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.